really, Dr. Shah. So just trying to understand, I mean, you reckon that, and congratulations on that number, by the way, quite fascinating. Though I must say that it didn't come as a surprise. I mean, the sneak peek that people got of the two vehicles that you kind of opened up, if I can use that term, it was partly anticipated because they just look so good. So great stuff there. I would love to understand, as you think of the group strategy, and you are a large group, you are the architect of that strategy. As you think of the group strategy over the course of the next 5, 10, 15 years, do you reckon the opportunity and the incentives for enhancing manufacturing are there for you and other groups to really enhance the Indian manufacturing prowess? Because without that, the goal of Viksit Bharat might not quite be achieved.
So we feel very confident about that, especially after what we've seen with our electric vehicles and what we've seen with our tractors. So India clearly has the ability to manufacture at scale, to manufacture at a lower cost. It does require a few more efforts for that to happen, but we've been able to show this with our products. And we've had many questions over the years around how will you compete with all the foreign companies coming into India. There have been many who've written us off at multiple times over the last 20, 25 years as well, saying that the entry of such and such company is going to be the death knell for us in either automobile or in farm. And our teams have been able to show that they can manufacture in India at strength and be able to compete with the global majors in a very significant way. Over the last year as well, on electric vehicles, there were a number of questions saying, how are you going to compete if such and such company comes into India? And our response has always been our products will speak for themselves. And that's what they're doing today. And this is a strength that not just us, but we see other Indian companies also bringing to the fore and essentially setting up the opportunity for India to be a manufacturing hub for the world. And that is what we aspire to, and that is what we feel confident we will be able to deliver in our path to Viksit Bharat.
Okay. And I'm going to make this equal parts manufacturing as well as services, because less Mahindra and Mahindra, I mean, yes, the dominant share is auto. There's lots beyond that, right? And would love to talk about that too. But just for a moment, because you mentioned that point, I can't not invoke that conversation, right? This whole talk of one Tesla coming in, the Chinese companies, BYD, etc., making their presence felt. Now, your numbers, booking numbers speak for themselves. But I'm still trying to understand, not just for Mahindra Group, but for others within the auto ecosystem. How would the industry face up to deep-pocketed global car companies or vehicle companies wanting to create their foothold in India? Just trying to understand.
Neeraj, that's a question we've been answering for the last 25 years. Because that's exactly the question that was there 25 years ago when various deep-pocketed global players came into India and Mahindra was written off as dead, saying you're not going to be able to compete with them. Right? That's happened on multiple occasions. Today, we have the products that speak for themselves. And in fact, we went to the extent where at our launch, at our test center in Chennai, we actually had some of the best vehicles in the world there along with our vehicles, and we invited the folks at the launch to drive all of them. And our vehicles stood up extremely well against some of the best vehicles, some of which were priced 3 times or 4 times our vehicle as well. So that confidence today comes from the people we have, from what they've done, from what they've developed. And therefore, we feel fairly good about the fact that we can compete with various folks. And I'm glad you were talking about services as well, because we do remind everyone we talk to that auto today is just 1/3 of what we do. Mahindra plays in 70% of India's growth over the next decade. And we are in multiple sectors, and some of those are growing very well and contributing very significantly to our businesses as well.
Yeah, most certainly, and I'll come to that. Just so, sorry, if my question came across that, oh, Indian companies will find it difficult to compete with global brands, no, because in some sense, Indian companies are global brands unto themselves. Your tractors in the US, I mean, making a mark, right? And Indian tech companies making a mark globally. So I didn't mean it that way. What I was just trying to understand, because a lot of these global brands are very famous per se, and there might be an allure for that. But I get the answer. You're saying that the products for you and for other companies will speak for themselves. Now, my question is the current economic momentum in India, which is maybe a bit slacking in quarter 2, picking up slightly in quarter 3, conducive for Indian companies to think big in the near term? Is this a passing phase, or is it difficult to say whether this intermediate slowdown that we have will get over in a hurry or not?
So there, Neeraj, we feel that the fundamentals in India are very strong. And they are further strengthened by some of the actions over the last few years. The digital stack today makes it much easier for us to do business across multiple sectors. Improvement in infrastructure is starting to bring logistics costs down. And a combination of all of these will enable the economy to grow even faster. We see this recent slowdown as a blip, and with some of the actions taken, we feel that we will be back on track. I personally do expect that we should be seeing growth north of 8% in the near future as well. And that's something that I think the Indian economy will be able to deliver, because we've grown at 6.3 to 6.5% over the last 30 years. And there are a number of positives that we have in place today that we didn't have over the last 30 years. So we should be able to see a faster growth rate. And we're investing in a significant manner across multiple industries. And we feel very bullish about the India story.
There's some bit of pivot that this budget has taken, if you will, right? That there is a focus on consumption being given. It may be a small portion of the overall economy size, but it has a multiplier effect, the moves taken in the budget, if you will. Do you reckon that this move towards 8% growth, and I heard you say near future, it may be 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, depending on where you believe. In fact, would love to know that as well, if you have a kind of time gauge in mind. But 2, would consumption and manufacturing both play an equal part into this, or can it ride on the plank of manufacturing alone?
It has to be both, because consumption is what will drive further private sector capex. And there has been concern, and rightly so, that private sector capex hasn't quite kept up, and government capex is really what has taken the economy forward over the last 3 or 4 years. But private sector capex comes in when capacity utilization goes higher. That's driven by consumption. And therefore, we feel that this is the right path to take. And this consumption boost will enable private sector to put in even more capex, and that creates a virtuous cycle that allows the economy to grow faster.
It's been elusive, sir. I mean, this capex, and I'm not blaming the private sector, right? The private sector will put in capex. I'm not talking about you, but in general, the private sector will put in capex when they see the right kind of IRRs for the project. But private sector capex has been elusive. Do you believe that we will sooner rather than later see this again? I mean, is there some estimated timeline that you reckon, maybe in 2025, 2026, that there's a higher probability of private sector capex coming back with a bang?
So the one metric to look at is capacity utilization across sectors. Right. And that has been inching up. In a number of sectors, it's over 75%. In a few sectors, it's over 80%. So as it starts getting over 80%, that's the right time for companies to start thinking about capex and making sure that they have enough capacity to meet the demand going forward. As consumption increases and we see further growth, it only accelerates the need for private sector capex. And you're right, for us, we've tripled capacity in the auto business in the last 4 years. We've added significant capacity to farm, to a number of other industries as well. And that's because we've seen demand for our products, and that will drive further private sector capex. So again, we feel that India is well positioned right now. The actions that we've seen the government take have been for the long term and to create stimulus for the economy in the recent past around the short term for consumption as well. And that's the right set of actions that will enable private sector capex to come in and provide a further boost.